Hi, and welcome back to Budget Beauty. I am Lindsay Hicks, baby, and I'm the creative force behind Budget Beauty. And for this episode, we're going to do something bittersweet. It is, so this is my weekly episode. We're at the beginning of March, and I am going to do an episode based on my mom's makeup. I, um, I learned how to do my makeup thanks to my mom and all the things that she taught me when I first started wearing makeup and when she first allowed me to start wearing makeup. And so I said I was going to do an episode dedicated to her, and I am in this episode. So this episode is being filmed. Today is Saturday, and I usually do my episodes on Saturday. Tomorrow is March 9th. Today is March 8th. Tomorrow is March 9th, and tomorrow marks exactly 10 years since my mom passed away. My mom developed terminal lung cancer, and she was diagnosed February 26, 2012. Um, she told me March 6, 2012. That she was sick and that she was going to start chemo and start the process of trying to hold off the cancer because she knew it was terminal. They diagnosed it at stage 3A when she was diagnosed, and but they knew what she had was squall. I can't remember exactly. Squall cell carcinoma. I think that's how you pronounce it. But in essence, there was no cure for that type of cancer. Chemo would at best hold it off and keep it from progressing for a short time, for as long as she could do the chemo. Which, as she explained to me when she was going through this process, once you finish a line of chemo, you cannot go back to that line of chemo. It is no longer as effective as it could be. So she started out knowing that it was terminal because there is no cure for it. And in the 10 years, there still is no cure for it, as far as I know. Um, so all chemo did was just kind of keep it at bay until she decided that she decided she was going to stop chemo, or she was finished with the lines of chemo and she stopped chemo. She got almost to the point where they couldn't do anything else for her as far as chemo. But she stopped chemo in April of 2014, and so she held on for another 11 months. Because she died March 9th, 2015. So here we are in 2025. And so I said I would do some makeup, and I would do as an homage to her. I would do some of her makeup, and and then I thought about it. I was like, my mom didn't wear makeup. I mean, she wore it, but she didn't wear like makeup like how I do my makeup now as an adult. She wore lipstick, and that's it. So that's what we're gonna do. So I went and bought. So I had this great idea, and I went and I bought lipstick that I had not used in years. Lipstick that I didn't wear for a long time, and I don't really wear like regular. I wear liquid lipstick the most now. And so I don't wear this type of lipstick anymore. But I knew it was her favorite. That was the brand of lipstick that she used. And so I bought it, and I'm gonna pull it out of my toolbox. So just bear with me for a second. Let's see, what did I do with the makeup? So I have a little toolbox that I keep all of my extra makeup in. And so trying to see where I stuck that. Did I stick it in there? I may have. I may not have. Oh, I did not. Okay. I found it. It was not in my little toolbox. It's in my little organization section here. So I bought this a couple of days ago. It is, it's kind of hard to read, but it says right here, this is Wet n Wild Mega Last Matte. Now, as far as I know, she didn't wear matte, but it was the closest thing that I could find to what she used to wear, because what she used to wear is no longer in production as far as I know. So, and if I'd had more time, I would have kind of hunted it down to see, spend a little bit more time hunting it down. But this was as close as I could find. And it's different packaging now, but it's kind of the same, kind of. This is what the version that she wore of this Wet n Wild. She loved this Wet n Wild because it was simple, it was basic, it wasn't super expensive, and she wasn't spending a lot of money on her makeup. So this is the Mega Last Matte in the color Cinnamon Spice. And so true to form with my mom, my mom did not wear makeup, and you've heard me say this multiple times. She really didn't wear makeup. She was the driving force in, ma'am, do not put face makeup on. Do not start if you do not have to start. And she was like, keep your skin as good as you can for as long as you can. And I was like, okay, I got good skin. I got fairly good skin. I should be fine. And so I didn't wear face makeup for a long time. It wasn't until probably this year, maybe last year. It was last year when I started wearing face makeup. I'm 43 years old. So, yeah, I went almost my entire life not wearing face makeup of any kind. So that's why I'm kind of new to the game in terms of concealer, foundation, primer, that sort of thing, because my mom didn't wear it, so she didn't emphasize it, and she kind of discouraged me from doing it. So, but the lipstick is one thing that she did wear. And so I did, and that's what I started with. I was allowed to wear lipstick, and as I pointed this out in the first episode of Budget Beauty, I was allowed to start wearing lipstick at age 13. And of course, at 12, I was like sneaking and doing it. She knew I was sneaking and doing it. I'd wait till I got to school and put it on. But I would sneak and put on Wet n Wild. And she was like, and I was like, I know, Mama. She was like, you did know I knew that you were sneaking and doing it, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. But yeah, I loved the being able to wear lipstick, and my mom was a major part of that. So my mom would always tell me, she was like, listen, baby girl, because I was her baby. Baby girl, listen, you don't need makeup. Not really. I mean, she was like, you're a pretty girl. You don't really need it. You have good skin. You have excellent skin, considering teenager and hormones. You don't have, and I did not have, massive problems with acne. As I've gotten older, as you can see, I have a few little spots, but that's more recent. I really didn't have spots up until I started wearing face makeup, which, I mean, she was right. My mom was right. But I didn't really have, and I really don't, and I still don't have too much issue with hormonal acne. Every so often, like when it's time for my period, yes, I'm gonna have hormonal acne because the hormones are, the estrogen, but especially, is through the roof. And so, and a little bit of the testosterone that I do have, that causes this hair to grow like this, and these sideburns to grow like this. I'm pretty sure that when I get older, like older than I am now, I will probably, and the estrogen production slows down, I'm probably going to have a beard, and I'm probably going to have a mustache. She did. When she stopped having her cycle and she went into menopause, she had hair on her chin here, and she had mostly, it was just hair on her chin, um, which was kind of morbid and ridiculous. And she pointed out that when she started doing chemo and her hair fell out, the hair on her chin fell out, but it was the first thing to grow back. Not her eyebrows, not her eyelashes, not her hair that fell out. It was the hair on her chin. And she was like, "Are we serious?" So she would have me pluck the hair on her chin for her. And I was like, "Really, Mom? Okay." And it was gray. It all came back gray. And as you can see, I am starting to gray, much like she did. I have a little, you can see a strand of gray right here. I have individual strands, but it's not collectively gray yet. But I'm graying around my edges, and I have it in the front mostly. See, there's another, you can kind of see it when the light catches it, but I can see it when I'm in the mirror. I can see it real easily. Like if I look in this mirror, I have a mirror off to the side here. If I look into this mirror, I can see the gray easily. Like there's a strand right there. It's all around my edges right here. And I'm graying like my mom and my aunt did. So yeah, that was that was my journey to start with makeup. And she used Avon too. She would get the Avon lipsticks too. It just so happened I don't have Avon in the house. I don't use Avon, and I haven't used Avon in about 30 years almost. So yes, my mom was the quintessential 90s woman. I used to call her all the time. I was like, "You a 90s lady." And I am too. I came of age in the 90s. But so I should point out, she wore makeup in the 80s. She wore lipstick. And she used to wear, she also wore LA Girl too, I think. I want to say she wore LA Girl, but I know she wore Wet n Wild a lot. So anyway, she was 30 when she had me. She was going to turn 30 that year. She was 29. I was born before her birthday. And so she listen, homegirl could dress, and she's who gave me my sense of color theory and style. She taught me color theory and the rules of fashion, such as right now, Labor Day, no white after Labor Day. And that was really a practical thing because where we live, it's hot up until probably October. And you don't really want to wear white too much beyond that. And no white before Easter. Easter Sunday is when you're going to wear white, more than likely. And so she very much would try to dress me. She was very excited to have a daughter. She always told me she was very excited to have a daughter. Mostly because she wanted a daughter and a son. And she did. She had both. She had both of us. So having my older brother that you hear me talk about in the last episode, we're 10 years apart. And so she was very excited to have that girl because she planned to have me. And she was really hoping and banking on getting a girl. And she got the girl that she wanted. So I think some of it was she really wanted to dress up a girl. So I got dressed up in the craziest stuff. But it was very fashion forward for the 80s and 90s. So I'm also a quintessential 90s girl. Because like I say, I came of age in the 90s, as did my husband. My husband and I are only 2.5 years apart. So he can tell you about growing up as a teenager in the 90s. Woo, what a time. So I was allowed to wear lipstick in 93. So she would have been wearing this between probably, and I'm trying to think, she wore makeup. And if she wore makeup, she was wearing it to go to work. She wore makeup for work. And toward the end, when she retired in 2006. She really didn't wear a ton of makeup. She did have an eyebrow pencil that she used, and she used the eyebrow pencil to fill in like her eyebrows, because she and I had very similar eyebrows. You can see I have extremely thick eyebrows. They're bushy. I have bushy eyebrows. I got that from her. Now I got my hair type from my dad. I did not get it from my mom. My mom had very fine, thin hair. It was very soft and fine and thin. Mine is very coarse and very thick. And that's why you see around my edges, I have a lot of, you can just see, I mean, it's just a lot of hair. It grows really fast and it's very thick. Like I have a massive afro right now. It's just that I have a piece on, so you can't really tell. But if I wanted to and I took this down, y'all would see my afro and it would be ginormous. And every time is a wash day is a battle. It takes me about 2 hours to do what I really want to do. And I'm just doing basic wash, dry, conditioning, all of that. So I'm just doing that basic stuff. So anyway, I did not get my mom's hair except for the eyebrows. And her eyebrows grew back after the chemo. She finished her chemo and she stopped it. They grew back as gray and they were thick. And I was like, wow. I was like, so you're going to need a silver pencil to fill that in, right? And she's like, yep, probably. So, yeah, we're going to do this lipstick. And like I say, that's the only thing she wore. She did not wear anything else. So this is going to be fairly short because she did not wear anything else. So this is the color. This is as close as I could find in color to what she wore. It's a dark brown burgundy. And let me tell y'all, that was also a quintessential 90s thing. Dark lips. Dark, especially on black girls. Let's get into black girl makeup, okay? Black girl makeup, dark lips in the 90s was a whole vibe. And it was a whole thing, I promise you. Because I wore burgundy lipstick a lot too. Following my mama. But everybody else around me who looked like me, they were wearing burgundy lipstick. So let's go ahead and do her up and see how this works. So I'm doing this off camera with my mirror. I have this mirror. It's a Conair lighted mirror. And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold this up and try to do this so I can stay in frame. Oh, and I'm trying to think, did she wear any lip liner? I'm trying to think. I think maybe she did. I think she did. So actually, let's do lip liner first. So I kind of want it to stand out, and I'm thinking, do I want to do a black liner or do I want to do a deep burgundy liner? Because if I do this liner is likely going to match this lipstick. So it's going to be as if I don't have on. See how fairly close that is? I feel like that's going to match it. So I don't know if we want to do that color liner. Maybe we do a brown. This might also match too. So see, I'm testing and swatching these without swatching. This might match it also. That's fairly close also. So maybe not that one. Maybe we should do a brown liner. And maybe we should do a black liner. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do a black liner. Oh, I did buy this. I bought this. So I haven't tried this. So let's try that. And we'll see. If it's too light, then I'll go over it with some black or something. But I bought this. This is a Wet n Wild gel lip liner in Perfect Pout. Is Wet n Wild Perfect Pout gel lip liner in the shade Lay Down the Mauves. Okay. Okay. So we're going to try it and see. Oh, this matches my lips almost exactly. I mean, it's kind of standing out. You guys can see it. If I do like this, you can kind of sort of see the differentiation with the like mauve. So, but it's matching fairly close. And I bought the Wet n Wild because one, she used Wet n Wild, but also I don't have any burgundy lipsticks like that. Mine are either red or brown because I've been experimenting with brown or nude. I've been experimenting with those colors. And those are the colors I found that I like. Or pink. I do have pink. I take that back. But everything but burgundy. So, yeah. Let's do that and go over a little bit on the bottom again. Okay. So, lip liner is on. Yes, I know it looks like on camera I don't have anything on. I promise you, you just sat here and watched me draw. I do have on something. That's how close that matches. And this is why we buy multiple and we try multiple. You got to find a color that works. All right, so let's get her started. I want to try this and see. I'm excited. Yeah, and it's pigmented. I haven't used a bullet lipstick in a long time. Okay. It smells like it used to smell too. Very waxy smell. Um, hmm. Okay. Hmm. Man, is it hard to draw a bullet lipstick now. This is hard for me. I'm so used to drawing with a wand and liquid, so it's kind of hard. Hmm. Okay. This is exactly how I remember this smells. Feeling that side. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. That is, it really should be a deeper shade than this, but um, yep. This is what it looked like. Almost. It was an even deeper shade than this. What she used to wear, but I could not find a deeper shade than this. I promise y'all I looked. I really did. So, let's see if we can do if I can add I'm gonna see if I can add some color to this and see. This, by the way, is going to transfer. So that is the thing. We didn't we didn't know nothing about transfer, and by we I mean I. We didn't know about transfer and not getting lipstick on things. It's kind of why I stopped wearing lipstick early on. We didn't know about transfer and non-transfer stuff. We didn't know about that. So when you're young and you don't know anything about anything and you go in with whatever somebody else buys for you, you don't tend to complain and get a little rowdy about things. You're gonna go with whatever they give you. So I don't know. Trying to see if there's any other way that I can draw this down a little bit. Um Maybe I should have put that on second. I don't know. So I have a deep brown liquid lipstick. This is, of course, NYX Lip Lingerie Double XL in the shade Going Desnuda. So we're going to see. Maybe I can drop this color down a little bit more. See, we're going to experiment. Because on camera, it's reading as like a berry, like a burgundy berry. And it's really not. It kind of is. This is kind of true to color, but it kind of isn't at the same time. So let's see. I'm going to try to put a little bit of this on and maybe dumb it down a little bit, mute it down, and see what happens if I put a little brown to it. what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put it on the top. I'm going to put it on the bottom only first to see if that works. And blot it together. That kind of dropped it a little bit because I'm adding a darker tone to it. Kind of. So I'm adding it to the top now to give it a little bit more. Okay, short of adding black to it. And I don't have any black lip stuff. Not anymore. Whew, that's almost a crime considering I was a goth baby. And I had a lot of black lipstick. Okay. So that did kind of drop the color. It really did mute it down. It's not quite as berry now. It's still berry, but it's not quite as berry. So yeah, that did kind of work. But yes, this is what mom would have done. And that there was about it. I promise y'all, if I can find a picture, and I am gonna include pictures here off to the side over here. Y'all will have seen them by the point of this video. In this video, I am going to include pictures of my mom, so y'all can see, because there is a very strong resemblance now. Just resting face, mom. It's mom. it's mom. Yeah, I do want to include pictures of her. So, and I will with this video. You will have seen them by now. I will start them at the beginning of this video. So you can see the comparison, and I think I have a photo of her where she's wearing makeup. I may not. I think the main photo that I have of her is one, she was on a trip, and she, cause she used to work. So my mom had a variety of jobs, and, mom was very much, she was very much a, traveling person. She liked to travel, actually. And so she combined that with one of her jobs that she had. So one of the jobs that she had, her main job, to put the food on the table job, was she worked for the University of South Carolina. She worked in media relations. She was admin, basically. So she was staff. And so I also attended the University of South Carolina. It's my first degree. I got a degree in journalism. And so I knew I was going to USC well before I even got to college. Like, I knew I was going to, because mama worked there, and mama worked there basically my entire life, minus probably 3 years. No, maybe even 2, probably 2 years she didn't work there. So almost all of my childhood, she left. So what happened was she started in the late 70s, or she started actually in the early 70s. She started in the 70s. When she got pregnant with me, she got married, she got pregnant with me, and then she decided to be part-time because she wanted to stay home with me. So she wanted to be able to be home with me more. And so she had me. And then my dad, you've heard me talk about, they decided to get a divorce. And so they did. And she realized she was going to have to go back to work full-time. So she went back to the university, got a full-time job. She worked part-time after she left the university when she got pregnant with me. And for like the first year or two of my life. She worked part-time as a receptionist for this doctor. He was a dentist, I think he was. And so she worked part-time. She was great at it. And then she wound up having to go back once they got a divorce. We moved into this house that I'm in with my aunt, who owned it, my aunt Doris Jean. And then this was 1984. And so she went back to the university, and she stayed at the university from 84 until 2006. And so she waited until after I graduated from college. She got me all the way there, got me finished, and then got me out. So it was kind of cool to have my mom on campus. My mom working on campus and being there. So my first semester of college, I would ride with her until I got my driver's license. And I got my driver's license about halfway through my first semester of school. And so I then started driving myself because I had a car. I had a car literally waiting for me. It was my aunt's car. And so it was just me and my mom here. We lived together. It was just us for like a long time. We moved out of this house that I'm in now. We moved out of this house when I was in the 7th grade, halfway through my 7th grade year. We moved out into Northeast Columbia. We got our own apartment, and we stayed in that apartment for about a year, and then we moved in the same complex to another apartment. And then we stayed in that apartment until I graduated from high school. So we moved the first time halfway through my 7th grade year. Then we moved again within the same complex at the end of my 8th grade year. And then we stayed in that apartment from the beginning of my 9th grade year, which would have been 95, 96 school year. 95 until, as a matter of fact, we probably moved right about now. It was like April-ish. April of 95, we moved to that second apartment. And then I stayed in that one with her all the way up until the day I graduated from high school. Then we moved back into this house. And then I stayed with her. We lived together in this house from 99 until 2003 when I moved out on my own. And then because I got a job, I finished school. I got a job straight out of school. I moved to Spartanburg. I moved back home briefly in 2008 to take a job in Sumter, South Carolina, which was a mistake. It was a terrible mistake. And then I moved again. I got another job because 2008 recession. I got laid off about 8 months after that. I moved to Lumberton. And so I left this house again. And then I moved to Lumberton, and then I moved to Burlington, North Carolina. This is Lumberton, North Carolina, and Burlington, North Carolina. And then I got a divorce, and I moved back home. So that was in 2014. So I've been here since March 1st, 2014, consistently in this house. So it's been 11 years since I've been back in this house. So collectively, I've lived in this house for like a long time. Like almost 30 years collectively. Because like I say, there's been some spots here and there where I've moved and moved back home and then moved again and then moved back home. So my mom and I lived together a long time. It was just the two of us for a long time. And I miss my mom. I do. It's gotten, I don't want to say easier, but I've made my peace with my mom being gone. I've learned to live without her. It's been 10 years. The first year was devastatingly hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Every other day, I probably was crying about my mom. My mom was my best friend, and you hear me talk about her all the time when I'm doing videos and in this video. My mom was my best friend. Y'all, if there was anybody on the face of this earth aside from my current husband who knew me the best, and I mean knew me the best, it's probably my mom. My mom was the I don't want to say twin flame because the twin flame's kind of cringe and weird, but my mom was, we could sit in a room and not talk to each other for hours, and everything that needed to be said was said. It was like that. Like, she got my sense of humor. She knew what I was thinking before I knew what I was thinking. Like, she was like, I knew exactly what you was going to say when I found out whatever information it was that she found out. She was like, I knew you was going to say that before you even said it. She was like, I remember her telling me one time, she was like, listen, you are literally me. Because we had a very similar way of thinking about things, and it's because she was mom and she was who I spent the most time with. So yeah, naturally my environment shaped me as a person. And so mom telling me stuff, and my mom would call me, y'all, my mama would call me, and sometime, I swear to y'all, even 10 years later, I go to pick up the phone and call my mama and be like, girl, did you hear what, girl, did you see? And she was like, girl, I know, I saw it. Like, my mom was good for the tea, okay? She would tell me the tea about stuff. She'd be the one to tell me about what was going on with the family. She was like, girl, let me tell you what did. And I'm like, why is it that, why, how and why? She was like, well, this is my theory on it. And I'm like, see, this is what I think happened. And I'll be like, oh Lord. And you know what? I'm going to tell y'all, my mama was my mom was not one to seriously sit around and gossip, but mama always knew the tea of what was going on. And mama would be the one to tell you what was going on and let you know this what I think is behind it. And y'all, my mama was 100% correct. There ain't nothing that my mama told me in the 33 years that I had her, because I was 33 when she died. There ain't nothing she told me in the 33 years that wasn't true. There ain't nothing, okay? Nothing, absolutely nothing that my mama told me about human nature and people and the crazy dumb shit that people do. My mama would tell me something about people, and you know what? There was not a lie told. Not a single lie. And listen, she would tell me stuff about her own brothers and sisters and her own children, okay, including myself. She would tell me stuff about me, and I'd be like, well, okay, you're not lying, though. That's not a lie. I could always count on my mama to give me the straight up, unvarnished truth. Now, she tried to find a way to say it nicely. But I knew if I was screwing something up, let me go ask my mama. Because my mama going to give it to me straight. And my mama going to tell me, you look at night, baby girl, you messing this up. You got to get it together. Like, I promise you, my mama was very, very, very good at understanding people and understanding how things worked. And my mama was handy with things. My mama was a Miss Fix-It around the house. She was great at putting stuff together and reading directions and following directions. That's why she was great at cooking. Mama was an excellent cook. She had a way about things that was very practical and very smart. Because let me tell y'all, mama had a lot of common sense. And she was very, very, very in tune with her surroundings, self-aware. But on the same token, she was extremely intelligent. My mom was off the charts book smart too. Okay. Now, she would always tell me, she didn't think, she said, well, I got a little knowledge about some things. I was like, Mama, you could have been anything you wanted to be. Okay. My mom was a math major. She was a double math major. Just to give y'all an idea. My mama double majored in math and computer science when she went to college. Okay. She wound up having to drop out the first time because she got pregnant with my brother. And this was the early 70s, and girls wasn't going to college. Not no good Catholic girls. And you're pregnant? Absolutely not. You're not going to college. So she had to drop out of school, and she went back briefly. She was the equivalent of a junior by the time she went back and did some classes and things, which is why she harped so much on me going to college and getting a degree and being able to do for myself and take care of myself. Okay. So when I decided I was going to school, she was like, okay, well, you have a choice here. You either going to school or you're going to go in the military and get a job and do something else. School was my choice. So she very much supported me going to school. She was always super supportive of me and what I wanted to do and the things that were important to me. She supported me in that. So as you can see, video games back here, and this is in my room where I have all of my systems, most of my systems, but video games. These are all N64 games. These are PlayStation 1, Saturn, Sega Dreamcast. This is pretty much my video game collection. There's way more. There's a bunch down here that you can't see. Y'all, when I tell y'all, she never once was like, oh, you can't play video games. She was like, so what new system is out? Okay, well, listen, I'll save up the money. You're going to probably get it for Christmas, but you got to give me some time to save up the money. It wasn't a question of, do you want this? It was, let me save up the money. Get it. So, she very supportive of my habit. She, when I decided I wanted to, do my own video game publication, she was the first person. She was like, here, I will be a copy editor and help you for this. So she also was great at English. She had a command mastery of the English language. And so she very much emphasized that at home. So I was a reader, and so was she. So, I mean, just off the charts intelligence, so smart, so smart. And I was like, Mama, you could have been anything. And she was like, and that's why you gonna be anything you want to be. So when I decided to go back to school, I originally decided to go back to school well before I actually did for my second degree. I decided I was going to go back, and I was thinking about doing accounting. And the first thing my mama said was, let's sit down and talk about it. We'll figure out how much it costs and we'll do it. I decided not to do it right then. But when I tell y'all that my mama was supportive of it, she was like, we're going to figure something out. We'll figure it out. She helped me pay off the first degree. She paid it off, basically. I paid some of it, and she paid the majority of it. So, yeah, no, when I tell y'all my life is poorer for not having her in it, because there's no one for me aside from my husband to really like bounce ideas off of, to just call when I need to chat. I just need a hug some days. Some days I really just need my mom. Like, some days I need someone aside from my husband. My husband is also my best friend. So my husband is really great. I can't stress enough how great my husband is. But sometimes you just need mama. You really do. And I can tell y'all, not to make this about her, but you would think that I would have that relationship with other people in my family and or my mother-in-law. I don't. I really don't have that relationship at all. The only other person that I would have had a relationship with that like that in my family was my Aunt Doris. And she died like 30 years ago almost. She died before my mom died, and they were best friends. So there's a reason why I resemble both of them, and I will have photos up here of of my aunt. Y'all will have seen a picture of my aunt and my mom together. They were two peas in a pod. Where you saw one, you saw the other, and it just so happens that my mama's child turned out looking like her, resting face and smile, auntie. So yeah, yeah. And when I wear my glasses, I've not worn my glasses on camera because doing makeup and wearing glasses is not conducive to each other. But when I wear my glasses, I look like my grandma, their mother. So yeah, my mom was something special, y'all. My mom was the best. She was the best mom. She really was. She was a trip too. She made me laugh a lot. And as I say, my life is poor for her not being here, because some days I think about something my mama said that was absolutely off the wall, but probably true. And I'll just be laughing about it to myself. And I'll be like, look, my mama wasn't lying about that, but the way she said it was hilarious. There was I remember one time she told me, she said, she was talking about somebody she knew. And she said, yeah, we were sitting in the kitchen. And she said, yeah, that boy, I don't know about that boy. That was Lanny Boo. Lanny Boo got shot in the cut. I'm like, excuse me? He did what now? He did what now? And she said, yeah, he got shot in the cut. I was like, Mama, you got to explain to me what does this mean? I wasn't up to date on her lingo. Like, slang evolves over time. Language evolves over time. So what she in essence said was Lanny Boo. Lanny Boo was this man's nickname, okay? I don't know who Lanny Boo was, but Lanny Boo, somebody she knew. Lanny Boo apparently got to fooling with some stuff he wasn't supposed to be fooling with. And it caught up with him because he got shot in the cut. The cut was the neighborhood cut through. I was like, oh, okay. So what you're saying is it caught up with him. Yes, that's what yes. She was like, yes, that's what I meant. And I was like, okay. I don't even know why she was telling me about Lanny Boo. But Lanny Boo apparently died. So I was like, what? She was like, yeah, he got shot in the cut. I was like, oh, Lord. So, yes, my mom was odd, which is where I get my eclectic, very much, some of my eclectic behavior from her. She was not the parent that had the probable ADHD. That was probably my daddy, probably. But my mom was very much, very level-headed, very practical, very easygoing. Now, she had a temper when I was little, but that's because little child who was highly intelligent and always doing something crazy. So yes, she had a temper, but the older she got, the more she mellowed out, of course. But, cause I was always getting a whooping for something. I had a quintessential Southern childhood, black Southern childhood. Yes, I was always getting a whooping and having to pick a switch off a tree and being on punishment because I was doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing. More often than not. So, yeah, no. But that was my mom. And this is kind of what my mom would do. Like I say, you're not going to see me do any other makeup with this because why? My mom would be like, girl, you know I ain't wore that kind of makeup other than no lipstick. Why? I can hear now. Why? And actually, I say that, I hear her now, but I have her urn. So my mom was cremated when she died. We had her cremated. And we have her, I kept the urn and her ashes. And so they're in my living room right now. I literally had a conversation with her before I filmed this. And I said, well, Mama, I'm going to film my video today for my makeup, and I'm going to talk about your makeup. And you know, I know for a fact I have very much, I very much accepted that my mom is gone. I sometimes I feel a presence in this house. Sometimes I dream about her, and it's generally when I got something going on and I need to be reminded of, hey, you need to go do this, or hey, this is something you need to consider and think about. She'll show up in my dream and she'll talk to me about it. And I'm like, oh, and I wake up and I'm like, I cannot hear her in the dream, but apparently it reminds me of what I'm supposed to be doing. That is the function my mom serves now. Also, too, I know my mom will be in heaven sometime just looking down like, my child. My child, go do what I told you to do. Because if you did what you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it, you wouldn't have this problem right now. Because that is exactly what she would say. So, when she was alive. So, yes, I do talk to her urn. It's in my living room. It's tucked away in a corner. That she used to fuss about all the time, because that corner, every 15 years, that part of the ceiling tends to act up. And so, and it's acting up right now. So, and 15 years ago, it was acting up. So, I talked to her this morning, and I speak when I leave the house. I speak when I get home. And I say, hey, Mama, I'm leaving. You know, I'm going to be late today. Don't expect to see me until later. Or, hey, that man going to be home at his normal time. He on this shift or whatever. I have a brief conversation with her, but I have accepted. It is my way of dealing with and coping with my mom being gone. And it was such a tremendous impact in my life when she died that it took a long time for me to even get to the point where I could go to work on the anniversary of her death. Okay. It took like years before I could do that. It took probably the first year we released balloons and I didn't go anywhere. The second year I didn't go anywhere. The third year I didn't go anywhere. It took until probably year 4 that I was in a shape to be able to like function on the day of her death. Her birthday was kind of a problem too. And so, yeah, I found ways of dealing with it and coping with it. And I have made my peace. I've gone through the steps of grief. I've figured out how to make my peace with it. I liken it to, and I told my husband this and he understood. He has not lost either of his parents yet, but he's been in the picture since before my mom died, so he's relatively used to me talking about it now and coming to grips with the loss. But I told him, I said, it's like a memorial out in the desert. When it first happens, it's like a giant hole in the ground. And it looks terrible. And nobody knows what to do about the hole in the ground. And you're like, I don't know what to do about this. I've got to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. I don't even know where to start. And then over time, you start learning about construction. And you go, okay, well, what if we put some gravel in it? What if we get some extra dirt and we start filling it in? Okay, it's there. You're going to mark the spot. It's there. It's going to stay there. It's never going away. That hole is always going to be there. But what you do is you section it off and you put it, and the first year you don't even know how to section it off, but you section it off and you put something there that says, here lies this person. And every so often you go visit it and you talk to them, speak to them. You let them know you're thinking about them. And then after that, then you build a memorial around it. And the memorial serves as a reminder that this person existed. They were important to you. They were instrumental in so many facets of your life, but it no longer hurts nearly as much as it did when you first started out and you didn't know anything. You've now learned how to deal with the construction. You've learned, yeah, okay, we need to go get some permits. And you are permitted to grieve. Let me repeat that. You are permitted to grieve. Do not ever let people tell you how to grieve, how to feel about the loss, who you should go to for comfort for the loss, and or minimize the loss. Just because the loss isn't as important to them as it is to you does not make it less important. And I had to learn this the hard way, okay? I had several people in my family who, on the side that I lost the parent, mind you, sit there and try to minimize the loss for me and tell me how I was supposed to feel about it. And tell me that I was wrong for continuing to talk about my mom. I'm like, she was my mom. Are you serious? Like, you done lost your damn mind. There is no way I'm not going to sit up here and talk about my mama. Not when I had an excellent relationship with her. We had a great relationship. It was a great mother-daughter relationship. Fantastic. Okay? And I know for a fact that my mom felt the same way because she told the nurses and the nurses told me. The nurses, when she died, the nurses came over to pick up stuff that we had at the house because my mama didn't go into hospice. My mom stayed at the house, which she was going to go into hospice, but she died like the week before she was supposed to go in. So the nurses came over to pick up equipment, and because she had to have an oxygen machine and she had oxygen tanks. So they came and picked up all of this stuff. And the lady was telling me, she said, "Oh, so you must be her daughter." And I said, "Yes, I am. I sure am. Come on in. We have all the stuff packed up," and because she had already started packing her stuff. Like my mama knew the end was coming, okay? She knew. Like she knew. And so she had started packing up her stuff and all of that stuff. She had all that stuff in one central location because she said when they come get it, you just want them to just be able to come pick it up. You don't want them to have to do any extra. You're going to be preoccupied and you ain't going to be wanting to be fooling with none of this. So when they got here, the lady said, "Yeah, she said, I know who you are. You must be her daughter." And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Well, she talked about you so much. She talked about her baby girl." And she said, "Your mom absolutely loved you. Please know that your mama talked about you so much and she loved you." And that she said, "I'm so glad that I have my daughter here. And my daughter is not just my daughter, but she's my friend also." And she said she very much loved the fact that we had that kind of relationship, that we were able to transition from just mama and child to, mama and child and friend. And that I could come to my mama and say, "Mama, I need help. Mama, what you think about this? Mama, let me tell you what happened. Let me give you the tea." And mama could give advice on an adult level. That was the kind of relationship we had. So when these people in my family who were, related to us, sit up here and say that, one, I haven't gotten over her death. How would you know? You wouldn't possibly know that. You can't possibly know that. You don't know the extent of the relationship. You don't talk to me. So you don't know what I know and what I don't know. You don't know what my mama and I sat up and talked about. You don't know what we have discussed. You have no background, no idea. So you can't sit here and tell me what I know and what I have done to move past the immediate, I'm in distress, I have lost my mother. You don't know. And I'm saying this is the nice version of what I actually said. Okay? But I have several videos on my other channel where I do stuff where I talk about that, and I'm like, listen, you don't know the extent of what we talked about. I can't stand a know-it-all, and I can't stand somebody who is miserable who want other people to also be miserable too. Them type of people, I can't deal with that. So, not to get off on a tangent here, but I cannot. So yes, it's bigger than the makeup, okay? The makeup is just one of the things that my mother and I shared that we had in common, that she was supportive of, even though she, like I say, she ranted about me wearing face makeup. But she was very supportive of it. And let me tell y'all, there's something to be said about a black woman supporting another black woman and uplifting another black woman while you're also raising a black woman, okay? My mom was so supportive of me and just the things I wanted to do. If I told her, if she were here right now and I said, Mama, I'm starting my makeup channel and I'm starting to do makeup and again, and I'm getting back into it, and I'm doing my own YouTube channel and I'm doing makeup and things, and I want to turn it into something. Do y'all know my mama would probably be in here holding the camera for me? She would be the one going out and buying makeup with me. She would be the one, not my husband. She would be in Ulta with me. She would be in Sephora with me. Talking about, ooh, girl, I saw this on Amazon. You might like this. Tell me what you think about this makeup. Try this one and see. She would be the person who, she would also let me do her makeup too. She would have let me do her makeup. If I was trying to do looks and stuff, and I wanted to try something out, she would be the first person who would be like, yeah, you should, okay, I guess I'll be on camera. You gonna have me on camera? The girl, don't nobody want to see my face. I can hear it right now. Don't nobody want to see my face. But listen, she would have been budget beauty mama. Okay? Much like she was gaming insurrection mama. She would have been so supportive of this. She'd have been like, girl, that's a lot of makeup though. So who needs that amount of makeup? I can hear her now. Don't nobody need that amount of makeup. I'm like, you do if you're trying out stuff. And trying to do products and trying to do product testing, and we want to see what it looked like on you. Child, my mom would have a field day in here. So yes, here's the 10 years of being without mama and trying to carry on and trying to make my way in the world without her. I sure do miss my mom every day. Every day. At least once a day, I'm talking about her or thinking about her or remembering something she told me that I probably need to remember. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm wearing her earrings. These are some black earrings. She wore hoops, and that's why I have them on. She wore black hoops. She had a thing about hooped earrings. And so she went and bought these, and then and she had them for years. And so when she realized she was terminal, she started giving away her stuff, which is common for people who know they are terminally ill and they have time to do so. She was getting her affairs in order, and so she started giving away stuff. And so her jewelry, she gave me almost all of, as a matter of fact, she gave me all of her jewelry. And I kept her jewelry boxes on my dresser, which was her dresser. I found these in there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear my mama's earrings today. So also too, when I got married again, I wore her pearls, and I wore a brooch that she had. It's a leaf brooch, and you can see it in my wedding photos. One day when I do my wedding makeup again, because I will do that at some point, I will wear. I had a brooch that was like about right here or so. It's a leaf, like a diamond leaf, gold leaf, and it was my part of my way of having her at my wedding. Into my little ceremony that I had. So, and we had her picture there. So, yeah, mom. Yeah, it's 10 years is that's a long time. It's a very long time. But here we are. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. This is this is the completed look. I'm serious when I tell y'all. She was very no nonsense, a little bit of lipstick, and that was about it. And she called it a day. I want to thank you guys for watching, and come back and watch more of my videos. I am gonna be doing more. This is my weekly one for this week in March, and I will probably do another one later, and talk about more makeup and my favorite looks and things that I want to try and stuff that I'm working on. I want to thank you for watching, and come back and watch more of my videos at Budget Beauty. Thank you. Peace.